You don't need to know what happens. You don't need to plan. You don't need to reinforce the loop of the conflict that you've normalized to embrace and expect a future that you have found comfort in because of the normalized of the conflict that. So pretty much what I'm saying is that, and I do this is why I'm bringing this up, and this is what I'm working through, is that instead of embracing the infiniteness that I am, I'll just speak on my basis. From my perspective, is that I didn't realize that I was normalizing a conflict within me, that there should just be conflict and that I should seek the comfort of this conflict that is constantly going on since a child because my needs were not being met. I was not being seen, I was not being heard. And to receive those needs of being seen and heard and worth and value, I would seek competition to compete, to perform, to prove that I am worthy to receive these things. And in a sense, it creates a loop of unworthiness and shame and need for performance, need to people please, need to ensure that I am worthy to receive these things and to control rather than to embrace my abundance and infinite beingness and unconditional love and purity and playfulness, and not needing to conform to how these people want me to be, and rather just knowing that everything is working out and I don't need to keep on continuing this loop of shame and unworthiness and, probably a bunch of other things. That the conflict isn't normal, and I normalized it. And that the solution to that, ultimately, is the point I was making in this video, is that I don't need to plan. I don't need to conform, fit in an external puzzle piece, be on someone else's stage. I'm here to live my life. I'm here to exist and be as me. I'm meant to see myself and be heard and express myself freely and love myself for who I am. Not play the tune, the flute of, the melody, the harmony of others. But a part of me had normalized that was normal. And instead tried to plan and perfect and need to show up in ways that was comforting for others. So when you're working through this wound, and this is what I was doing today, is that the wounded me of shame wants to keep fitting into those boxes, whereas the free me, the authentic me, my true self, my true beingness and existenceness, is one where I don't need to conform to what has already happened, and instead embracing the unknown. That my mind and my brain, really, this identity, belief system, it's safe to not need to prove. It's safe to not need to plan. It's safe not to need to rehearse, to be hypervigilant, to worry and victimhood as well. I forgot to bring that up. That things are working out and I don't need to choose the chaos. I don't need to control the... Control is just conforming. It's constricting. And it's confining all that, is trying to get to me. That is trying to empower myself, to free myself, to pleasure and create and express and to be my authentic me rather than deny, avoid, hide, run away, fight, freeze. My truth, my power, my worth, my value. So, let go of control is what I just kept on telling myself. To reclaim my power, let go of control, and I just don't need to know, is what I kept on reminding myself when I would ruminate and seek the loop and rather create a new opened me. Being a new open me, being who I truly am rather than cycling the old. And that's really it. I mean, it's just freeing, and I'm not weighing myself down, because ultimately when you're trying to weave and you keep on recycling that loop, you're weighing yourself down to all these external expectations and your ego doesn't want them to change. Because it finds comfort in the victimhood and suffering of self-sacrifice and outsourcing my worth and value, pretty much. That it was safe to do that then, as a child. Because, I mean, that's just how that survival mechanism and coping thing happened, and the innocenceness of a child. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe some people had like a crazy aha moment here. But ultimately, that's what it comes down to, is that there's a lot of the reason why you're being perfect, the reason why you're wanting to seek love outside of yourself rather than love within. Another realization I had is like any consistent type of genre movie that you are watching, whatever that, for me, it's like thriller and action. And whatever that end resolution that character is seeking to find is ultimately a version of you that your ego is seeking to find as well. If you can relate to that. So like for action, they're trying to be a hero. That's another thing too, is trying to save people and be a hero. To then be seen and recognized is a coping mechanism for me. When I'm not meant to save anyone. I'm not meant to live anyone else's life. But I had to do that to be recognized, to achieve things, because that's where worth and value was. There wasn't emotional intelligence and nurturing. It just wasn't a part of the program. And that just is what it is. And ultimately, it's okay that it is, because it brought the excitement of coming back into myself, repartnering, reconnecting with who I truly am. And it's just soul contract and soul mission. That's what I chose to experience in this life. This is the roles my family members took on, as well as the family I chose to be born into and all that stuff. And how do you know if this is true for you? It's just what your life is. It's not like I had this like angel whispering into my ear. It's just the truth of my physical reality experience of Sean in this life. And whatever it is, and everything that has happened and unfolded in your life is serving a purpose in a positive way, and has meant to happen, and is going to serve you in a positive way. If you just choose, and that's another thing, is allowing everything to be positive. And it's not easy, because the ego you wants is normalized the old, the separation, the negativity wounds. So there's a lot on this video, but I love you, and I hope this resonated. Take what resonates. And yeah, have a beautiful Easter and a beautiful day.